Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Great Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Praise be to Goddess. Well, here it is, another Wednesday, and today we have the topic for you of let go and let Goddess. I'm sure many of you have heard the expression let go and let God before. But this is a little different. This is let go and let Goddess. So what do we mean by let go and let Goddess? Well, it means that sometimes we need to let go of the past and we need to move into a better future for ourselves and our families and people that we love and the people around us. And so we need to let go of the past and let go of things that have troubled us in the past and let the Goddess make the decisions for us and let the Goddess guide us into the future. And so we want the Goddess's guidance, and many times we seek it. Many times we seek the Goddess's guidance, but we don't know exactly how to allow her to guide us into the future. So I'll attempt to answer that during this video. Now, what are some examples of situations in which we need to let go and let Goddess? Well, I can think of an example right off the top of my mind would be a divorce or a separation. And in this situation, we really need to let go and let Goddess, because a divorce or a separation is such a difficult thing and so difficult that we obviously need the Goddess's help to guide us through it. And how could Goddess guide us through it? We can pray to her for help with this. We can pray to her for help with the divorce or the separation and ask her to help us cope with it and help guide us through it. Now, you may have a lot of hang-ups with your ex-mate, and you might vent those in a courtroom. But it's best if you let go, because judges hate hearing stuff like this. They hate hearing arguments between spouses. And if you don't have a bone to pick with your ex-spouse, then it's best not to, because you just cause all sorts of trouble for yourself. Now, if you have a legitimate concern, like your ex-mate has been molesting your children or something of that nature, then you have to speak up. Then you have to say something to the judge and to the other people involved. Maybe you can get friend of the court to help you investigate child molestation. That happened to my mom when she was going through the divorce with her ex-husband. He was molesting me, and so she had to go to friend of the court to get help with convincing a judge not to allow visitation anymore. So that's one example. But beyond that, if you're just having a custody battle or a battle over belongings, like how you're going to split up the wealth with your ex-spouse, then it's best to let go of the past, because it'll only cause problems for you in the short term. And in the long term, it can cause problems in both the short term and the long term if you have issues with this person. So you have to address the past, But then you have to let it go, and you have to let go of any bitterness or resentment or hatred that you feel so you can guide yourself into the future. What's another example in which we need to let go and let Goddess? Well, how about a dispute with your parents or your children or your siblings or anyone else in your family? This is a situation in which you really need to let go and let Goddess, because if you have a dispute with your parents or children or your siblings or anyone else in your family, then the bad feelings can linger on for years. And you can blame the person and refuse to speak to them and have bitterness for years and years. But you need to let go of the past. You need to let Goddess. And that doesn't mean that you necessarily trust that person again, that you trust them and act like nothing happened. That's not what you do. You can forgive them, but in forgiving them, you don't forget. Forgive, but don't forget. Because if you forgive and forget, you're going to have the same problems all over again, and then you'll even be more bitter the second time. So forgive, but don't forget. And a lot of people say that part of forgiveness is forgetting about the past and treating the person just as if they never did anything. No, because people can be dangerous sometimes. And you're in the danger of reliving the past events if you just forget about what happened in the past. So forgive, but don't forget. And so forgive the past, let go of any bitterness or resentment or hatred, but move into a positive future where you're away from the people that you had the dispute with in the first place. Because you need to move into the future with a clean slate, and you can't do that if you hang on to the people who are causing you the problems. So let go of those people and move on to the future and let Goddess guide you. And you can pray to Goddess for guidance. If you have any problems with anyone in your past, you can pray to Goddess for help with that, and she will help you. She will. One time I made a list of all the people who had hurt me and all the people who I resented and all the people that I had had problems with in the past. I made a list and I put it in my drawer, and then I forgot about it, and I let Goddess help me get over all of those people that had caused me grief. Another example of a situation which you might need to let go and let Goddess is a workplace dispute or a workplace, some bully in your workplace that's been bullying you and harassing you. In a situation like this, you need to let go and let Goddess, even if that means quitting your job so that you're not exposed to the negative person anymore. Now, you can try recourse to your employer, but I've found in my experience that employers do not give a damn about you. Okay? They'd rather take the other person's side. They consider anybody who complains as a problem. And so the people who complain are problems to be solved, and the way to solve that is to encourage you to quit, no matter how they do it, even if they use the other person to harass you some more. And that happened to me on one of my jobs. I remember it very clearly that the employer used the employee that was harassing me to harass me some more. And then when I lost my temper, they encouraged me to quit. They said that they would tell my future employers that I had lost my temper unless I signed my own resignation. So that happened to me. So I know it can happen. Sometimes in that situation, the best way to let go and let Goddess is to quit your job and to find a better job, because that was my experience. So let go and let Goddess. And all of these situations that I mentioned require you to let go and let Goddess. Sometimes it's something that happened to us in school. School is another example, because there's so many things from our past that were negative in school that we might be holding on to, and we might be holding a grudge against our former classmates because we were bullied. We need to let go of that and let Goddess handle the situation. And there's really nothing you can do about the past. So unless there is something you can do about the past, you need to let go of it and let Goddess. I'm Sarah Jane Alpha Wolf signing off. Have a terrific week and take care.